As Hurricane Ida roared ashore in South Louisiana, its storm surge engulfed Queen Bess Island, one of the favorite nesting spots of brown pelicans. Grand Isle, so badly wounded, sits just a few miles off in the distance. Biologists like John Weeb could easily have feared the worst.
I didn't really fully comprehend what it was going to be. I'm looking at the television, I'm seeing the magnitude of this storm and just not really having any comprehension of what that little tiny island is going to be going through at that point.
A couple months later, from the air, the island appears okay, some ponding here and there, but mostly intact. But only an on-the-ground inspection will tell for certain. We tag along as state biologists and project managers visit Queen Bess for the first time since the storm.
The storm surge appears to have created a little bit of a scour hole just on the inside of the rock containment dike.
Their mission, find out how severe a blow Ida delivered. Each spring, several thousand birds raise the next generation here. The island was already eroding and sinking when, at the height of nesting season, the 2010 Gulf oil spill coated the pelicans in crude. Settlement money paid for a project to turn 5 remaining acres into 36. This was the first of the bird islands to be restored with BP dollars, $18.7 million. So it was always going to be closely watched to see how the island stood up to the very first significant storm.
See where your breakwater start?
Katie Freer and Todd Baker, the project managers during the restoration, find some pleasant surprises. Breakwaters on the island's south side were designed to give young birds a place to rest, sort of a kiddie pool for pelicans.
They really weren't designed to protect the island, but that's in fact what they've done.
Areas behind those breakwaters suffered less damage as the rocks knocked down the surge. That's not to say everything is perfect.
Nope.
The storm exposed a fabric material that had been placed under limestone. For now, they leave it, figuring the birds will probably nest right on top of it.
That other area is right over here.
Ida gouged out holes where pools of water could lead to erosion. They'll dig a trench or something to reconnect depressions with the edge of the island.
We definitely don't want to have too much standing water that doesn't drain or have any tidal exchange.
Mangrove bushes, the preferred real estate of brown pelicans, took a beating from wind and waves, and now
They're getting eaten on.
Insects.
The first eggs, the first birds are right here behind us on these black mangrove bushes. You'll notice now that they look a whole lot different than they did in the spring.
Some of the plants will die. The state might need to replant, but there are already signs of optimism. New growth.
And considering the size the storm went through and what the island looks like, it held together very well.
If this were a house, it wouldn't be a rebuild, it'd be just a few shingles kind of thing?
It would be a few shingles, maybe a little siding, maybe replace the steps that go downstairs.
Honestly, I think we've created a pretty fantastic island.
And maybe the best part of the story. The hurricane came late enough in the nesting season that this year's youngsters were old enough to simply fly away. On Queen Bess Island, John Snell, Fox 8 Local First.